Okay, it's still Thursday, November 7th, 2024. I had to get up and go pee. So yeah, so the whole thing with the sometimes I feel like society demonizes women with about body shaming, about breasts and all that, but whatever. So back to this whole thing with this person. I completely went off the the rails with changing the subject. So this person I knew from 2024. We are friends on Facebook. The man claims to be a relative of a certain individual by the name of Aleister Crowley. This man claims to be his great grandson. Okay, maybe he is, maybe he's not. I don't know. Quite possibly so. It's very possible. How do I know? I wouldn't know. He does have the same last name. But anyway, we met. We had some stuff in common because this guy is into fitness and all that, and but so the more I learn about his accident and what happened, it was like, oh my god. But the thing is, he's very much into AA, very involved with Alcoholics Anonymous. So he was married at one point, and apparently the person who tried to kill him or hurt him was somebody who his wife was having an affair with, and that happened to him when he was in Mexico working somewhere at a spa, like a sports place, kind of fitness spa type place, a retreat, and they tried to kill him. And apparently it was somebody who his wife knew to hire to do it because she was after his money or his house or something, and he had a son. They had a son together. So I was like, oh my god, I didn't realize that because for whatever reason I thought that he had just had an accident, that somebody tried to hurt him, like shoot him or stab him when he was working on the border patrol. I thought that's what happened, but no, it was something different. He had many a brush with death doing that job, which is a dangerous fucking job, I can imagine. You got to be real fit and alert to do something like that, and probably, yeah, perfect for an ex-Marine or military, whatever. But so I didn't realize what the real situation was, and then I found out today because he got caught. What's weird is that, okay, I had not seen this guy since 2020 at least. I was living at Canton Street at the time. The last time I saw him, he had taken an Uber to my house on Canton, and he brought we watched some DVD of Cheech and Chong in my computer. And of course, I think we had a little bit, maybe a drink, and then watched that movie, and that's it. Then he left. Okay, we probably kissed. We're probably intimate. It's possible, but you know what? Whatever. Okay, and I realized after that I liked this guy, and I know that he liked me a lot because he kept telling me that he loved me after that, and he really seemed to be interested in me, and he told me these things, and I was like, well, he's moving a little too fast, and maybe we need to slow down, and he lives a long way away. And there's a whole kind of communication thing where I'm such a talker, and I like to communicate with people. And I know that it's not his fault, but I was like, I felt like maybe there's something. And plus, I think he had it. He said he didn't. I think he was involved with some girl, some younger girl who he knew from his AA. Some girl. I think she's like a black woman that he was having his girlfriend, or some girl he was seeing. That something happened with that girl, but I know that he was seeing her or something at the same time or right before then. I'm pretty sure, but whatever. That's probably part of this triangulation shit that people like to do nowadays. It's so common. There's always an ex or somebody gets a third wheel in any kind of relationship. That's the way it is. You can, anytime you meet somebody online or whatever, yeah, I can guarantee you that they're gonna have. There's always others. They're always going to have other friends and other, maybe people who they date, maybe others who they're intimate with. So don't ever think that you're the only one. And if people are really exclusively together, well, that takes commitment, that takes dedication, That's like real, true trust and love. And quite frankly, I don't think those things exist anymore. I don't. And I don't even look for it. I just realize that I can meet men or go out, maybe whatever, have some fun. But honestly, I've gotten to the age and to the point in my life again, after going through that whole fiasco for the past year, wasting time over a year and a half with somebody who was just fucking with my head and literally like so much fucking I mean, I don't even want to talk about it, but literally I made quite a fool of myself by thinking this guy gave a shit about me when in fact he never did. Here I am giving, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? I completely got used like a doormat by somebody treating me like shit, like a joke, and lying to me. And so whatever, I'm over it now. I'm over that person. I'm over that shit, but I've learned now that, like, okay, I'm ready to date again or meet men and whatever, but I do not want to get intimate with anybody at all right now, anytime soon. I'm not interested. I just don't. I don't want it. I'm not looking for that right now. I would much rather get to know somebody and build a real relationship where there's communication and trust, and maybe we have some things in common. But that's all I'm looking for right now, or that's what I want. Or expect in a relationship, because you cannot start off a relationship by being physical too quickly, because it's going to get old. It's going to die out. They're going to lose interest. You're going to lose interest. They're going to, it's just not good. Even if you're age 50, you're 40, it doesn't matter. And especially the older you get, the more difficult it is to date and to get back. It's not fun. It's not easy. It's challenging. There's a lot of competition. There's a lot of stigma. There's a lot of, it's just like, it sucks. It's like, that's why I'd rather just find somebody or let them find me. And if it's there, it's there, and it'll happen. It happens, but don't push it. Don't force anything. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And that's how I see things. If anything, if you're meant to be with somebody for real, and it'll happen. God has a way of putting people in your life who are meant to be there for you. That's what I believe. And if that's a person you're truly supposed to be with for your partner, life partner, or intimate partner and all that, then it'll happen. Then he'll let you know, or that will happen. But that is something that I do not think should be forced, nor should people use drugs to try to enhance that. You shouldn't be doing any kind of substances, in my opinion. If you want a real connection with somebody, that is to say, once you meet the person, y'all get along, you go out, whatever, either, you want to get to know them better, you start to have an interest in them, and you want to spend more time with them, then I believe in my own heart of hearts and my own experience, with lots of it I've had, is that really don't rush the intimacy thing. Yeah, you can kiss them, have a little kiss on the cheek or something to say goodbye, but that's it. On a first date, maybe even the third, fourth, don't go to the bedroom. Don't do that. Don't do it. Especially, no. Don't do that. Respect yourself. This goes for men and women. Because a lot of men, there's a lot of people out there who really are so desperate for physical. They're somatic, narcissistic people. I mean, they may not be necessarily narcissistic, but they're very sex-driven and ego-driven, and it's all about the physical aspect. And they don't even care about really getting to know you. They don't care about you. They just want to get you in the bedroom, and they want sex. They want they're all about that. And if you see that, if they behave like that, where they just want to touch you and they practically can't, no, that's a bad thing, because guess what? When they don't get that, if you give it to them too soon, and all of a sudden you take that away, then they could get violent. They could become a stalker. They could do their smear campaign on you, and call you all kinds of things that they're projecting because you didn't want to have intimacy with them, or, this is what happens. That's why here we go back to the Bible, and I'm not even, I did go to religious schools. I did have to learn the Bible somewhat, going to Sunday school and in religious private schools, growing up Episcopalian and all that. So I was that kind of stuff was kind of like heavily enforced in my life, and going to these religious camps and whatnot. And I guess some of it I did listen to and try to pay attention to, because I didn't want to be a bad person. I wanted to be as best as I could, and I knew that what was wrong and right. I knew morals, and I had values, and I still do, but I'm far from perfect. I've made mistakes, and I've learned from them, but I do know this much. What I do know is that, or from my experience, is that it's true. The Bible, when it comes to things about intimacy and whatnot, that's why, when people are intimate and there's pain associated with it, it shouldn't be like that. If there's pain and you feel forced or whatever, it's uncomfortable, then that's a sign from God that that's not the right person for you, that that's not a good companionship. If the person doesn't reciprocate, if you see that they're into porno, they don't know how to be affectionate in a way that's loving and giving and caring and nurturing towards you, especially, when you're a female and you're on the receiving end, and they don't know how to give. These are all bad things, okay? You don't want to be nobody who's in a clear state of mind why would they want to be in a relationship that's so bestiality, sex-based, that kind of thing, where it's like forced or uncomfortable, or, that just shows, if people are into that, it clearly shows that they've got a lot of mental issues and anger issues, and they don't know how to love. They don't know how to give love. They don't know how to be honest. They're probably serial cheaters and porno addicts and whatnot. These things are indicators of somebody who's going to cheat on you and break your heart if you get too close to them and think that you have a real connection. Because I'll tell you right now, you don't get a real connection with somebody through sex. That is not at all how to form a real close bond with somebody. You people think that is how you get. No, that has nothing to do with a real soul connection. What happens with sex is a soul tie is created due to trauma bonding, and that euphoric feeling that people get because of the passion and the here and the now, the in the moment thing. But all that stuff is very transient and dies rather quickly, fades out. The flame goes out really fast. You'll notice that, how all these relationships that start out really hot and heavy and it's all about the sex and all that, they die out it all dies down within maybe the first year. You're no longer interested. You've lost the appeal. The appeal is no longer there because they've already lied to you, cheated on you, and they've been unfaithful, and they've fucked you over or taken advantage of you, and they're narcissistic and selfish, and you know what I mean? There's no communication. There's no foundation. No foundation. You might have some good intimacy, but maybe both of you are drunk, or you have to get stoned or something in order to feel that kind of intimacy. And if you have to go there to feel that with somebody, then you know that that's not even a real connection. It's not, because I used to do that myself. I used to think, oh, maybe it'll make and back in the day, people like to get stoned and they like to have sex and all that shit, drink, get drunk. No, yeah, it can be fun and it feels good in the moment, but then when it's over, you usually feel like shit the next day, especially if it's like a one-night stand or that person doesn't respect you or your boundaries, and they force you, and then they start body shaming you, and things like this, because it happens all the time. You get compared to their ex. They tell you can't do this right, you don't do that right, you're ugly, you're too fat, you're not pretty, you're not attractive, how come you don't look like so-and-so, all the fucking body shaming and all the shit that happens. That's why it's like, it's really good to get to know somebody and let them earn your trust and let them earn that. They don't deserve, nobody should get a free pass to the bedroom after knowing them for only a week. Unless you're a fucking paid prostitute and that's your job. Because I guess nowadays that's what people want. Nobody wants a connection. Nobody wants a real... I mean, there are people out there who do. But for the most part, nobody wants to put in the work or effort of what an actual relationship requires. That's why all these marriages fail and people cheat. There's, infidelity, adultery. Well, it's because they get tempted. And even if you're tempted by something else or somebody and you're supposedly in a monogamous relationship, well, the temptation is just as bad as the cheating. The cheating can be emotional cheating and it can be physical cheating. But if you are really if you say that you're in a monogamous, serious relationship with somebody where you think that you're well, then that means that this is what that means. That means that you're not on any dating sites. That means that you're not looking at pornography. That means that you respect your partner. That means you don't keep secrets. And that means that you're not cheating on them or unfaithful. And that also means you're not sitting there eyeballing every single woman that crosses your path and having desires to be with somebody. That's a sin. And I might sound silly and biblical and whatever, but it is. It's a fucking sin. Even to lust after somebody if you're in a committed relationship. Now, if you're not in a committed relationship, you're free to do whatever the fuck you want to do, but there's going to be repercussions for your actions. You can go fornicate every day, all day, for the rest of your life until you find what you're looking for, and you're never going to find the perfect person because you're always going to be looking for the better, newer, shiny object that's got more money, more this, more that, the better body, the better... Yeah, it's just a game. Everybody knows that nowadays, especially with the media and the stupid hundreds of dating sites and apps, well, everything's just a big competition, and that's how it is mostly. Hook up. Let's hook up. Friends with benefits. Oh, yeah, and what the fuck does that mean? It means friends with benefits means that the person's too fucking lazy or too immature to put in any kind of work that a relationship is. That means that they had a bad marriage, that they got cheated on, or they cheated on their wife or whatever. So now they just want to, I don't know what I want, but I know I want sex, and I like getting an orgasm, and I'm all about the lust and the feeling of intimacy just because I'm a greedy fucking self-absorbed somatic narcissist, and I just want my penis sucked, or I need an orgasm, and I just need to find anybody who's going to do that for me, and I don't give a fuck how they feel or whatever, because I'm a greedy fucking pig, or I'm a slut. A lot of women are the same way. And that's unfortunately how it is now out there in the fucking dating pool, or whatever you want to call it. It's a big cesspool pond of scum, basically. You're lucky to find one person out of a million that you're gonna have anything in common with, and who's gonna actually treat you with respect and not fucking take up all your time, waste your time and energy, lead you on, future fake. You're lucky to find that, if even. You'll probably, me, I know I'll never, there's always something wrong. They always try to force me into sex. They can't keep their hands off me. Or they tell me they love me like way too soon, or they get really clingy, or they get obsessive, compulsive, and that's all in the beginning, right? And then they ghost you and they disappear, and this is just the way shit is. And if you can't, you have to just accept that that's the way it is if you're going to be in a relationship. But if you're in a monogamous marriage or serious relationship, you better fucking do your investigation on that person. Make sure, who they are, if they're who they say they are. What was their marriage like? Why did their marriage end? Were they domestic violent? Do they have a substance abuse problem? Are they an alcoholic? Because the biggest cheaters of all are usually the alcoholics. they're always going to be looking for, the alcoholics are the ones you really need to watch out for when it comes to infidelity. I think, especially the drug users or meth addicts and alcoholics. But yes, people cheat. And then guess what? You're married to that person, and now you find out they're cheating on you. And, well, now you have to now it's a legal issue because you got kids and and the person is denying that they cheated even though you caught them, or the evidence is all there on their phone or whatever, but they're still denying it because there's money involved. You two have a home together. You share bank accounts. You have kids. You have, this, that, and the other. Maybe you have a business together, or you were together for 5 years, 10 years, I don't know, but whatever. You met them in high school. They're your high school sweetheart. Whatever the fuck it is. Y'all have a codependency. Learn to fucking detach yourself from everybody. The secret is to not attach to the secret, I believe, to happiness is don't attach yourself to anybody. Be completely, don't be a player, but don't attach yourself to anybody who you know is a player who's going to hurt you and doesn't want anything seriously. If a man wants to have sex with you but doesn't want anything serious with you, just wants to be a friend with benefits, what the fuck is your benefit, and what's that all about? Why can't they go? Why can they only do that? Well, that means obviously that they are involved with other women at the same time. That means that they are dating multiple women and having sex and intimacy with many different people at one time. Do you really want to be with a man who's sticking his dick up God knows how many women at the same time that you're with him or whatever? Is that what people want? Because guess what? It's going to get you sick. It's probably going to get you a lot of STDs or bacterial infections, urinary. Because with women get horrible yeast infections and bacterial infections, especially if the asshole doesn't want to wear a condom. The women are the one who suffer, not you fucking men. The women are the ones who get sick. The women are the ones who get the fucking bacterial infection, which fucking hurts like hell because of your fucking penis. It's from you. It's from the man, especially if he doesn't want to wear a condom, which most of them don't. But I'm just saying that if you care about your body and your health, and you should just be monogamous, in my opinion, just like the Bible talks about it. So you stay healthy and you stay monogamous is the best way to do things. But anyway, I saw this guy again today after like 4 years. He wanted to see me. He wanted to show me his dogs and talk about his new job and this, that, and the other, and visit. And I was like, okay, I can go visit you for a little bit. It's been a while. And we reconnected on Facebook. He, all of a sudden, out of the blue, contacted me on Facebook. And I had him blocked at one point because he kind of upset me a ways back. I thought he was being way too aggressive and pushy with the whole trying to push the sex thing. And I didn't want to do that at that time. We had intimacy before, but he was trying. I remember at one point he was like, I just was like, we need to slow down. You're pressuring me too much. And I think that upset him, or I felt like he was being too pressure. So I had blocked him on Facebook, and this was several years ago, whatever. That's what I do. Sometimes I block people. They make me mad. They upset me, then I just block them. Okay? Just like I do the same thing on my phone. Sometimes that's what you do. It doesn't mean but anyway, it's not like we're boyfriend and girlfriend anyway, but this man did tell me that he loved me and that he really liked me and he wanted me to be his girlfriend. He did tell me these things, but I didn't believe. I was like, you know what? You're involved. He was involved with that girl at the time, this black girl from some AA I think he met. I know he was involved with some younger girl because he told me he was. And I'm thinking, I don't want to get in the middle of all this stuff right now. And I think I'm going to just like take a break, or we need to just be friends. I told him this is getting too intense. And I even told him all that. I said, no hard feelings, because I think you're a great guy. I like you. You're interesting. You're funny. You're smart. But let's just take it slow. I need to take things slow. And I did tell him all these things, how I felt. And so, contacts me again on Facebook, tells me about the dogs that he's working with and all that. And like, that's interesting. And he's got a service dog. He was on a waiting list for a long time. He finally got his dog. I went over there because he invited me over there where he lives, and I had been there before once, years ago, one time, about 5 years ago, 4 years ago. So I went there, and he looks the same, a little bit different. His hair is a little longer. He looks pretty much the same, a little older. He's like, we all age. It's part of life. But he still remembered me quite well. But immediately when I got there, he tries to, like, I'm just wanting to talk to him and just, what's up, what's going on, because now he can talk better. And so, and then we go up to his room and sit down, and he starts taking his pants off. He starts literally, like, taking his clothes off. And I'm like, no, stop. I said, do not do that. Don't. I said, put your clothes back on. I did not come over here for that. That's not going to happen. And I said, put them back on. He started literally, like, taking all his clothes off and trying to get me to do that and and I'm like, no, stop it. I'm not, he tried to take my clothes off as well. I said, absolutely not. Stop it. I said, do not do that. You better respect me. And I said, don't do that. I don't want to do that. I haven't seen you in like 4 years, and I don't want to do that right now. I don't even know you. I need to, I want to be friends right now. I don't want this with anybody right now, I told him. And so don't do that. And I said, no. And I had to be really firm with him about it. Because he actually has like a brain condition as well. Okay, he's got a brain injury when he was shot hit over a head with a baseball bat and then stabbed. So he's got a bit of a neurological issue. And so, I'm not being mean, but I'm being very firm. No, we're not going to do that. Because he literally was trying to he was getting very kind of aggressive. And I was like, no. He really was getting aggressive with me. Not to the point that I felt like he was going to physically harm me, but you know what I mean? Like, he was getting kind of aggressive. And then his dogs kept jumping up on me, and like literally like two male big dogs they just could not stop smelling my crotch and jumping all over me and panting. And I was like, what the fuck? This is crazy. I was exhausted after being there for an hour. I was like, this is just what in the world? And then his dogs I had a good time playing with the dogs as well, but it was just too much fucking activity. I was exhausted. Literally, I had been to the gym. I had done a lot of fucking driving. I drove all the way out there, which was about 30 minutes, and all the fucking traffic, and I didn't even, I had to get direct, it was like, I've only been there once before. He lives all the way out in like northeast Thousand Oaks or some shit like that. It's pretty far away. So it's exhausting. I did a fucking lot of driving today, and I told him, I said, I'm really kind of physically exhausted. Of course, I had to pee a few times, and, it's just, I like to pee in my own house, my own toilet. I don't like to pee in anybody's house but my own. That's just how I am. And so that's always embarrassing. But nonetheless, we had a nice visit, but he still kept trying to, he was kind of couldn't keep his hands off me. And I said, no. Then he got really like sexual with me, tried to. And I'm just being very honest, because it's like he said he hasn't been with anybody in like, since his wife or something, or since me. I'm like, yeah, right, whatever. I don't believe that, come on. That was a lie. I know, whatever. It's kind of funny what people will say to try to get something. And I don't think he was being honest with that, because I've seen, come on, hello. I could tell that, he's a very sexual person. And I'm thinking, well, how, no, I didn't have any intimacy with him. He just kept trying to. And I was like, no. He literally, and then we went out he wanted to show me again his little room out there where he has his weights and his machine, his exercise machines and his billboard or his whatever. He tried to throw me on the table and take my clothes off. I was like having to push him away. I said, no, stop it. No. I wasn't shouting, but I was like, no. No, 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 no. It's like I was almost having to talk to a dog. Like a dog, like, no, an animal. I was telling him, do not do that. This is not going to happen. Stop treating me like this. I'm not an animal. You're not an animal. Stop. So he did. He got really embarrassed and he said, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. And I think he felt really embarrassed. And I said, it's okay, but just slow down. And this can't slow down. And then we went and he wanted to read a book, some chapter of this story. And it was a story about him actually. And that was interesting. I actually read it. He wanted me to read it, so I read it. Then his mother shows up, walks in the door, and I said hello. And she said hi and whatever. And I just said, my name is Lindsay and nice to meet you. I think I met you before. And then that was it, And then after that, after 20 minutes after that, I was like, I've got to go. I need to leave. I need to pee. I'm not feeling so well. I'm kind of tired, and I've got to go. I've got a long drive ahead of me, and I don't want to start driving in the dark. So I left. But it was but nonetheless, I'm just saying. I'm almost 50 years old. This guy's a 46-year-old man. I'm an adult. He's an adult. But honestly, I guess I think he had the intentions of thinking that I was going to go over there and he was going to get something like that, like, intimacy. I guess that's what he wanted, obviously, or thought. But that's not what happened. And but nobody was mad. I wasn't mad. He didn't seem mad. He seemed actually really happy to see me. And he was happy that I drove over there, but I'm telling you, I was like, whoa, God. And so then I just came home and rested, but I don't know how, like, what that was. It's like, I've never had, I can't remember that the last time a man has been that much wanting to be, like, have sex with me, like, that much, like, really, really trying to, be intimate like that, like, almost ripping my clothes off. Like, what? I mean, this other man who I was involved with, who I was providing for him, doing something for him, he never even reciprocated hardly. I was just having to fucking give him blowjobs all the time, and he never kissed or anything, and that was awkward. But then, I'm just saying, what the fuck? It's like, okay, it's like from one extreme to the next, I guess. But now, like I said, I'm a single woman. I can date, I can do what I want, but I do not want to be intimate with anybody. I'm not looking for that right now. If somebody really wants to know me and cares about me and whatever, they're going to have to take their time, let me take my time, get to know me, take me out a few times, let's get to know each other, and then the relationship can begin if we like each other. But that's how it's going to be from now on. I really fucked up this last time. Wasted a whole year and a half, almost 2 years, or however long, with somebody leading me on, fucking with my emotions, my mind, my body, everything, traumatizing me, an abusive asshole, very abusive, manipulative, a liar, a cheater, because he's a fucking fraud. Yeah, I think I need a little bit of a break from anything intimate. I'm not in the mood to deal with any fucking narcissists or any people who are aggressive. That's why it's going to be maybe I'll never, the way I see it is I'll probably never, I have no desire whatsoever after all that I've been through. I don't even have any desire to ever have intimacy again. I feel right now repulsed by just about all of it. I feel repulsed by penises. I feel repulsed at everything. I feel just disgusted with all of it right now because if I don't have a connection with somebody and it's not real and it's fake and forced, then it's not gonna happen. It's got to be reciprocal. It's got to be real, and it's got to be, but maybe it'll happen one day, maybe not. Maybe, I need to take my time, and I do not want to be rushed. I'm a Capricorn. As cliche as that sounds, I am not gonna let any man try, because like I said, right now I don't give two shits about intimacy. My life is in a different path right now. I'm focusing on other things.